Good morning, everyone. Hello. What a morning here in Florida. That's where I'm coming to you from this morning. I have left my main studio and now I'm back in Florida. And if you are in the area or watching the news, you know it's kind of a crazy place here right now, waiting on Hurricane Milton and deciding where it might go. So anyways, we're still going to have fun this morning. We're going to paint a little bit. And I thank you guys for watching me. It is Monday morning. We have made the drive down from Maine to Florida. So I'm kind of a little bit off still with where am I and what day is this? You guys know that feeling, right? So good morning. Hi, Tracy. Thanks for sharing me. And I love it that you're here. And as you guys come in, just say hello. I'm so happy to see you all again. Hi, Lois in Vermont. Hi, Charlotte. Nice to chat with you this morning. You're having a day like me probably. So, and Natalie, good morning. Hey, everybody. Glad to be back in Florida, but here we are under hurricane watch. So it's going to be kind of an iffy day, but we're keeping our eye on the news, and that's all we can do at this moment. Let me know if you guys are in the area too, dealing with the same sort of thing. Anyways, we're into October, pretty much into October, so I'm working on some Halloween things. I'm working on holiday things. Tracy, yes, I think we might be in the middle of the path. It's just all over the place. They just don't know where it's going to land on the West Coast at this moment. We're in Lakeland. We're kind of in the middle of the state. That's where people come from the coast to evacuate to. But I am in a manufactured home, so I do want to I'll probably head to Orlando to my sister's house. I think we're going to be safe enough, but I just don't want to stay here during the brunt of the storm. But we don't really know yet where exactly it's going to make landfall, and you really probably never know. So we're just watching it carefully and just making some plans and not freaking out at all about it. I feel so bad for all the people in the North Carolina and down in the Anna Maria Island and those places that had such devastation from Helene. So we're just going to be careful and do what we're supposed to do, and that'll be it. So hi Terry, hi Sandy. So I love to paint, and you might have seen them if you follow me. My page is Tinker's Cart Art. If I didn't mention that, I'm Cheryl from Tinker's Cart Art, but this is also my segment on Craft Around the Clock, and I'm so happy to be here with them because it's a fabulous page. So if you are not a follower, please do. Live crafting every 45 minutes. How much fun is that? So anyways, I'm going to paint. I love these vintagey, remember the vintagey, I'm not going to do the black cats, but I love that too. But the pumpkins, the creepy, not creepy-ish, but those funny pumpkins. I paint them on ceramic ornaments. I paint them on these wood slices, anything sort of round. And I just found this in the cupboard this morning. So it's an apple juice, this little, I forget the name, Martinetti's or something, maybe a little apple juice bottle. I thought that would be fun. It already even has a little embossed leaves around the top. So I thought that would be cool to do. I just put a coat of gesso on it. So we're going to paint these little ornaments. I love these wood slices. I paint all kinds of things on them. You've seen me paint raccoons and lighthouses and all the things. Down here in Florida, I had fun painting lighthouses, palm trees. Maine is lighthouses. Florida, I'm back in Florida. This is a little one, but I love to do little palm trees on them. And this one says Vero Beach. So if I'm in a shop or a show somewhere, I'll personalize them. I love, now that I'm back in Florida, I'm painting alligators for Christmas on them. And they don't have to be just for Christmas, really. When they're just the little paintings like the raccoon I've done in different things, they could just be a little ornament that you hang up anytime. This is a cute one I painted for Christmas with a little bat on it. So it's really fun. They're very versatile. They paint up pretty quickly. And I know you can just get them on Amazon in different sizes or the craft shop. But anything round. So if you look back on my page, you will see I've painted the same vintage pumpkin face on teapots, coffee pots, a globe. You know, I painted over the globe as a big pumpkin head. And those pictures, you'll see them all recently on my page if you want to scroll back. Good morning, Carol and John. As I'm going, if you have some questions, please put them there. If I miss them as they scroll by, I will come back and answer them later. No worries. And so what I did is I just started with a little circle. I leave a little trim, as you can see. I paint them different colors for different designs, but I always leave that little ridge. It just gives a little bit of the natural wood slice showing. I love it with the bark on the side. I'm doing some now with pelicans and sea turtles, but today we're going to do some pumpkins, some vintagey pumpkin heads. I am going to grab a piece of sandpaper because after I put a coat of the paint on, I like to give it a fine sand just to get the burr down of the wood and have a smooth surface to paint on. So I've got one coat here. I'm going to add, let's just get some orange on this. This is a glass bottle. When I paint glassware, you know, that you're going to drink from, wine glasses, whatnot, I use a special glass paint. This is not going to go through the dishwasher or be washed. This is going to be just a little decorative thing. So all I did is put a coat of gesso on the glass. Oh, sorry, just any brand of gesso. And just as a little base coat so that my paint would adhere. And I'm just going to get an orange, kind of a darker orange on that. If I go too light of an orange, it just, the white kind of streaks through. I'm going to skip over to a bigger brush though. So I'm using ordinary craft acrylic paints. You can use whatever you have, really. My brushes are just synthetics. They're not very expensive. Hey, Sandy. Good morning. Nice to see you. Hi, Dawn. Thank you guys for popping in. And I'm just going to give this a little coat of orange to start. Sometimes I need to do 2 coats. And then what I'm going to do is just divide up the little sections of the pumpkin, give it some shading and some highlighting, and then we're going to paint those fun little kind of, I don't want to say they're creepy, but you know those vintage, remember all the vintage pumpkins, the paper mache, the black cats? I have not done the black cats. I do need to paint those on something as well. I do love Halloween. It's one of my favorite holidays. So I do have a lot of Halloween projects that I'd like to do. Good morning, Bonnie. I was going to bring on maybe I'll do this next week. I have a little lighthouse scene that is like a Halloween scene. It's like a haunted lighthouse. That might be a fun little project. I painted it on a lobster buoy, which was cool. But it could be painted on anything. So I'm going to go around the little leaves on the top. We'll just paint those a dark green and then highlight them. So just get that orange on there to dry while we put some orange on the little wood slices. So again, use your imagination. If you're out thrifting or look around your house, if you have any object that's round, like I said, a round teapot, although to be honest, I painted it on a tall coffee pot, actually. But a globe, a round ornament. The Christmas ornaments are fabulous for this, the ceramic ornaments. Yes, Andy, I don't know, did you see that? You might have seen that lighthouse I painted last Halloween. You might have. That was a fun project. And so I do love to paint. I love to teach people how to paint. And it's not something that you don't tell yourself, I've always wanted to paint, but I can't draw a straight line or this or that. If you have the desire, you want to learn, it's something you can learn to do. It's just like anything that you learn. Just you need to have someone show you some of the steps and practice and create. And don't be too hard on yourself. Just enjoy the process is kind of my mantra. So you can see the grain through the wood a little bit. That's okay. We'll just let it dry and put a second coat. And then we're going to be ready to put our designs on. When they're done, I take a little bit of twine and just tie a little hanger on there. And if you're going to gift them, you could write a little message with a paint marker or a Sharpie on the back. Makes for a nice little personalized gift. And if you wanted to and you weren't comfortable with some of the detailing we're doing on these, you guys could do it with your paint markers. The Posca paint markers are fabulous. They actually have paint inside, and painting with little rocks or mandalas or almost anything. You can use those paint markers. If you're a little nervous about getting the fine lines, feel free to use the markers to do all the features and the lines and things. And I paint, again, a wide range of things. Sometimes they're more intricate. Sometimes they're simple. It's nice to challenge yourself a little bit sometimes, even if it's a detailed painting. In my classes, in my art membership, I will give you a tracer. You can trace it, and then I'll show you step by step how to work your way through the painting. So sometimes we do really simple projects. Sometimes they're more detailed. You could look at my page and get more ideas or any questions. You can send them to me. So I'm going to just let the wet ones dry. This one is a little bit, this one is dry, and I did just sand it. But I'm going to give it a little sand. Just fine sandpaper. Quick second coat. And like I said, this is just an orange. I'm putting a little bit burnt sienna in there with it just to darken it a bit. Lori Ann. Hi, Alyssa. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I kind of know some of you are my regulars, and I know where you're from, but I'm always curious to see where you are watching from. It's a nice little community here on Craft Around the Clock and in my group. And especially if we're just online like this, in the case of like storms or different things, isn't it nice to still have our little community available to us? All right, so there's a couple coats on those. That one's drying. I could hit it with my heat gun if I need to speed it up. I think I will on the glass, because on the glass it's taking a little bit longer to dry. North Carolina, Lori, how are you in North Carolina? I have some friends that are in Asheville, and it was devastating. It's devastating, and I just drove through North Carolina on my way down. Mississippi, thank you guys for letting me know where you're from. It's kind of fun. And I would appreciate it if you are a follower of my page or Craft Around the Clock. Links are in the description. And it's just a fun place to be, learning new things. Whether you're just a crafter or a painter wannabe or an established painter, it's always fun to see people creating. I love watching, even if I'm not participating in doing that craft. I love to watch what they're creating. From Sweden, Suzanne, thank you for watching. Nice. Okay, I need a dark green for the top of this bottle, and I'm going to hit it with a heat gun in a second too. So let's just get some greens here. And where's my heat gun? So I'm just gonna, I hate having you listen to the noise, but it'll just take a minute. I'm just gonna give it a quick spray. Like I said, because the glass is a little bit longer to dry on. Hi, Jody. North Carolina too. Audrey, I hope you guys are all safe there. So I cannot believe we're well into October already. Now I'm going to have to get on with my Christmas projects. Hey, Daryl, good morning. Nice to see you here. I'm going to call you after we're done here. There, that's pretty dry. I'm going to let it sit for a minute with the orange. You know what? I will give it the green leaves on the top so that that'll have a chance to dry. And I don't even know what it's going to look like, but I thought it's a nice shape for a little pumpkin head. And maybe, I don't know what I would do. Maybe just a little dried flowers, something fall leaves maybe. I would love suggestions if you guys have any thoughts about like what we'll do with this afterwards. You throw them out there. Lots of North Carolina. Oh, Audrey, you're there in Eastern. Good. Yeah, we drove through like through Charlotte and Columbia on the way down. A little bit of sanding on this guy. Okay, and let me just paint the leaves. I love that I didn't even realize, I just been saving this little bottle for something. Hi, Charlene. Nice to see you, too. And Shayna. And then I was a little pleasantly surprised to see the little leaves on here. So we're going to paint the top of this, the green. These are just base coats. So when I'm base coating a project, it usually takes a few coats. And it will get highlighted on top. Since we're starting with this dark, you'll get a nice lime green on top to highlight the leaves. And it's nice because this is dimensional. The little leaves are formed with veins and things. So when I go over and dry brush on top of that, it'll be a nice little pattern, leaf pattern on that. Isn't it? I think it's perfect for a pumpkin. And actually, you know what? I didn't know what about this little screw top here, but if I could take twine or probably raffia and wrap it around there. That might be a nice look. Yeah. Hi, Shin. Hello, Kimma. What's everybody else working on? Are you working on Halloween now? Are you probably into Christmas, a lot of you? You can see all the Christmas decor starting to pop out in the stores. As I'm painting this, you know what else it would be cool as if it wasn't October? An orange. That might, you know what? That might be cool. Paint it like this as an orange. And then I would paint maybe an oval here of like a light blue, just to base coat it, and paint a little scene of orange trees. So, yeah, my imagination runs wild a lot of times. But I think I'm going to do something like that once we're through the holidays, because that would be a fun winter project, or later on when we're looking for other things. Speaking of future projects, I do love it if you have any suggestions, anything you'd like to see painted. I'm happy to throw that in. I'm usually here on Mondays with you. Monday mornings, vary sometimes. I try to let you know when I'm coming on. I will generally send an email, but I didn't, with everything going on here, I didn't send an email, but I did post. So if you follow my page, you'll know when I'm coming on. But I would love some suggestions of what to paint. Let's let that sit a little bit, and let's paint some faces on these oranges. Oh, I've got oranges on the mind now. Pumpkins, guys, pumpkins. All right. So I'm going to just put some little dividers in, and I'm just going to get a little bit of a darker brown. And that kind of starts them for me, places them, and then I can kind of put in, I can sketch in with chalk or pencil or freehand, just the eyes and the mouth and the nose. And these, like I said, are that vintagey look. So you'll see what I mean in a second. I'm just going to grab a piece of chalk. Go right here. Chalk is fabulous for sketching when you're painting, because you can just wipe it away with your finger if it's not in the right place, or after you paint it, you've got a little bit of the tracing showing. You can just wipe away the chalk. And I'm going to just eyeball the little lines. I'm going to use a liner brush, which is great for if you need to paint long lines, thin lines. The being such a long brush, I water my paint down. That thinned paint, this brush holds a lot of it, and I can do a lot of lines at once without having to constantly reload my brush, which is kind of nice. Good morning, Pam. Pam, I loved your cactuses. And you know what, Pam? We have some of the ladies here are in my art membership. And Pam, I wanted to send a picture. I don't know if you've seen it. When I was in Arizona painting once, I painted a lot of cactus scenes. And I was thinking to myself, one might be nice to do in the membership. And I thought, I don't know, do people want to paint cactuses? But when you mentioned that, I think maybe I will. With the middle of the holidays now, I don't know if we'll do it after, but I will post and show you those paintings. I really liked them. I really love painting out in Arizona. And I know we've done the desert cactus with the pink background, but this is more of a landscape. So maybe we will pop that in the rotation. We do about 3 paintings a month in my art membership. We paint together by Zoom, and then we also have a recording. So it really is a fun community. Okay, here's my little painting. It's just a couple coats of that orange in a circle. And now I'm just going to put in some of those little dividers. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm just going to do, and they don't have to be perfectly straight or even or anything. Remember, you guys, do not try to get perfection, because unless it's machine made, it's not going to be perfect. What we like about it is that it looks handmade. So little quirky bits, little wiggly lines. I will on purpose make lines wiggly sometimes, because we don't want it to look like it was machine made. So I'm just dividing it up just like that. Now you could do that if the object was round, whatever the shape. I still started this way. If it was my big globe that I painted, just a map of the world globe, I painted it as a pumpkin. I would go all around the whole object. Like this guy, we will go all around and put those lines in. And just like I said, it's a good starting point. Just get the lines in. And then I'm gonna paint the features last. First, we're gonna give this a little shading. Even though it's a fun little whimsical piece, it's still gonna get shading and highlight. Shading and highlight, whether we're painting something very realistic or something fun and whimsical, you still want shading and highlight. It keeps your object from being flat and two-dimensional, which it is usually, and it looks rounded. So it's just a matter of some shading and highlighting, lights and darks, the values. That's what's important in painting a lot of times, is the value, your lights and darks. And sometimes we struggle too hard, say for color, oh, you're trying to match that color. Well, sometimes some of the things in nature, you're not going to match that color. If you look for the values, squint your eyes and look at what's dark, what's light, the color doesn't even matter so much as if you get that right. So that's a little tip to not, and I've done it. I used to do it when I first started painting. I'd be, that color of the sky or the tree or the leaf. And I would spend all the time trying to figure out to match the color, but now that I realize I just need the shade, the darks and the lights, it doesn't have to be the exact color. So these look like a bunch of basketballs right now. So we've got our lines on there. And I'm going to just take a little rinse of the brush and put a quick little second coat of orange on my bottle, because I think this will be a fun I just want to see it done. It's going to be a fun little project. I'm going pretty light. I don't want to take off the paint that's underneath because it's a shiny surface. Now, if I was had decided, more than like 5 minutes before I come on, what is it that I really want to paint this morning? Because if I decide earlier, I change my mind anyway. I would probably have painted this with a spray primer. I have a spray primer here, and it's just from the hardware store. And if it's something that's tin or shiny like this, I'll clean it really well, and then I'll give it a little coat of the primer, and it would be less likely for the paint to slip off. But I'm going to just do this carefully just so you can see the technique, mostly. And if I was going to do more of them, it would be a little easier start if you had that primer. It just gives more of a dull finish with a little bit of grip that your paint will take to easier than a shiny object. I know, Cynthia, it's just a little bottle they were in the apple juice aisle. They're martingales, I think. Martingale, something. Little orange apple juice bottles. Little, they're very fun. And I think you can do a lot with those, so it's kind of cool. All right, now that is going to dry a bit. I'm going to shade, so my orange is on the dark side, so I'm going to do some lighter oranges, almost some yellows to brighten that little pumpkin up. So my darks pretty much are there that I want. And now I just want to get some yellows on that. Maybe a brighter, I even have sometimes I have this fluorescent orange. I don't know if I'll use that, but I'm going to see what it looks like. Sometimes it goes on and just looks yellow. All right, I can just mix my orange with some yellow too. So let's just get some lighter shades on that pumpkin. Oh, this needs to be shaken up. And you don't need, I always do tell you this, you don't need a lot of colors because we can mix a lot. If you want to start out and not have to buy a lot of paint, you can certainly just mix colors. Cindy, good morning. It's so nice to see you, all my Massachusetts peeps. I keep thinking I sometimes don't come down to Florida till after Columbus Day, and I would be up there for this crazy weather we're having, but I guess I'd rather be here to make sure everything's secure and whatnot, so we are watching that. Okay, I'm going to just take my little basketball looking thing and get some yellows, and I'm just going to streak that down. I'm going to mix a little yellow with some of that orange. Doesn't have to get real detailed because these are just a fun little ornament, but I want more than just leaving them as little orange circles. I may shade in between. Where these little lines are, the pumpkin would be grooved a bit. I may shade that a little bit. We'll see what it looks like. The bigger the item, on my big globe, it was about this big. I did, of course, a little more detail on that, but we don't need to do as much on this. And like I said, they're fun little gifts. You want to give someone a little something. People that actually do have like trees for all seasons, and they'll decorate the trees with the Halloween and the Easter, and so these would be perfect for that. Even the smaller size would be cute. If you saw me, I showed you the smaller size a little while ago, but I'm not sure. Things just disappear off my table right in front of me. But the little tiny wood slices would be cute with these on it too. So I'm just highlighting a little bit. I think I will give a little bit of a shadow in the grooves maybe. And I'm going to get a little red into my pumpkin. Let's see, I'm going to get a little red onto that. I'm making that orange just a little more on the red side. So maybe I'll just kind of where the grooves are. See how that's going to start to make it look like a little bit more. Jacqueline, I hope so. We are just watching the path. It's just unknown right now still on where on the West Coast it's going to land. But I'm inland. I'm in Lakeland, which is kind of the spot where people, it seems to be that they would evacuate to from the coast. But I'm still going to probably head to Orlando, and my sister's there in a house, and I'm here in it's a manufactured home. It's probably safe enough, but I'd rather button it up here and then head over to her or to Daryl. Daryl's watching. Depends on how the traffic is, whether 4 is crazy, or I'll head down to Daryl, which is on the other coast. So I'm not panicking at all. We're just gonna head over after we button up here. Tomorrow, when we see more where the storm's heading, I feel terrible for the people on the coast because they have just got hit, and to have this coming again, I'm just It's just sad. I have there's a shop on Anna Maria Island where I have my work, and thankfully the shop is standing and fine, but there's so much devastation there on the island and along the coast. So I'm just getting a little darker around these grooves. And if I lose that little groove, I'm going to just go one more time over, and I'm going to add a little Payne's Gray or Black to my paint to just make that little groove line I made just slightly darker. And keeping my paint, when I'm doing with my liner brush and I'm doing some fine work, I keep my paint really thin, and that way I can make a long line right. Look, I've got 2 lines even done there. If it was a short brush with just a little short tip, I would have to keep reloading my brush. So that's a little tip, is the liner brush are fabulous for detail work and long lines. And all we need to do after this is just put our little faces on. And you know what? The personality that you can make just with facial expressions on these little pumpkins is really cool. You can make them scary. You can make them funny. You can make them just the different expressions. If you look up facial expressions, animated facial expressions or something, just maybe put eyebrows, the shape or the direction could just change their little looks. And so it really is kind of fun little project. So there we are. I just darkened up those little lines a tiny bit. And hey, Patricia, good to see you here this morning too. Yes, we're going to be safe. Don't worry. I'm not one of those, like, I'm staying and protecting my house. What am I going to do? I want to take my dog and myself and my husband, and my siblings are all here in the park as well. So we're all going to find a place to be, and we'll be fine. Let's just put the little lines on this jar. So I'm taking the little liner brush again. And like I said, if it's a dimensional object, we'll just go right around. We'll just make these little lines right around. And I might just hit it quickly with the heat gun on the leaves so that that's dry. And while we paint these, this will be in a perfect place for us to come back and finish. If I don't get my fingers stuck in the bottle. Again, if you're just jumping in, these are little apple juice bottles. They come in little packs of 6 in the grocery. And I thought they'd be fun. I haven't painted anything on this before. I've painted pumpkins on all sorts of things, but not on a little bottle. So let's just dry up those leaves a little bit. And if I get one more quick little coat, that'll be nice and solid coverage for us to put the lime green on. And I love it. Put in what you guys are working on. What is your specialty? What's your favorite art or craft? That's so fun for me. Even if I don't catch it now going by, I come back and take a look. I love to know where you're from, what you're doing, all the things. And then when I see you come on, I hope can remember some of those things. And love my little community here. There. Let that dry a tiny bit. And get some faces on these other guys. Oh, we have a great group. Look at all of us here today. I didn't even look up. And so we're at 9:43. We have 45-minute segments here. And we'll finish up at 10 o'clock. So we have like 10 minutes. Oh, we have quite a few minutes left. We're doing really well. Okay, so I think I will just, with my chalk, just give myself a little idea where my nose and eyes. You can do all sorts of shaped eyes. I'll do a variety here so you can see. I pretty much do all the eyes as noses as little triangles, and I do my mouth a little different. So we'll do 3 different. So sometimes I will do the traditional little triangle eyes, but I'm going to paint eyes in there. And then sometimes I do a round eye. So we'll just sketch on 2 little circles. Again, I'm just going to use little triangle noses on them. And let's see, and sometimes I've done like an eye shape like this. So I just want to give you a little bit of each one. So we'll just do, this is like a little rounded eye, a little triangle nose, and then the mouth. So sometimes I do go ahead and do those zigzaggy teeth kind of mouth. So I'm just going to just draw the mouth on for now, and then I'll just make where the teeth are going to go. Just so I know where to paint when I go. It's just a rough little sketch in chalk. Erases if you don't like it. Oh, Jacqueline, paper craft. Oh, you sound like me because I like to do all the things too. So it's so fun. Yeah, I've done a lot of scrapbooking in the past. That's fun. And papercraft. I haven't sewn in a long while, but then I'm getting the itch to do that a little bit again. And so I do like to try lots of things. I like to do a little felting, crocheting, that sort of thing. And Charlotte is a fabulous painter. She's in my membership. Oh, good. So you're good. See, I paint things now, and then I want to give them away before it's Christmas, but it is nice to get things done. We were painting some fun bats in the membership last week, Charlotte, the week before. And I do love bats. They're cute bats, too. Okay, so we're going to do another mouth like this with the teeth, like those vintage ones. I know it looks kind of creepy. And then we're going to do another one that has, like, little teeth, which this is what I love. So anyway. Okay, so we have our sketched on. And I'm going to just paint, like for the eyes, I'm going to paint them as an eyeball in there. So I want to paint a little white first, just to have something there. So this one is going to be white first. And I'm just going to paint in, even though part of the eye is going to have the pupil and the iris, and it will be a color, just give me a little base. I'm just using my chalk as a guide, my chalk lines. I'm kind of eyeballing them a little bit, trying to make sure that they're semi the same size. But again, like I said, I am not fussing. I'm not going to worry about, oh, this is just a little off of that one. They're handmade. They're a little wonky, and that's how I like them. These guys are going to have, let's see, the round guy is also going to have just, I'm just going to paint the white circles, and this will get 2 coats of white. So we'll paint it, let it dry, do another coat. And on the mouth of, say, this one, I'm going to paint it because it's going to be the teeth in there. So I'm going to just paint that in a little bigger brush. That's going to be kind of a little easier to do it in a bigger brush. So the craft paint, the craft acrylics sometimes are a little transparent. You will need multiple coats. The important thing is just to put it on a first coat a little thinner, not thinning down, but spread it out. You don't want big lumps. You don't want to try to put it on as heavy as you can because you know you'll need a second coat. 1 coat, let it dry good, another coat, as many as you need. Just try to keep the paint a little smoother, I guess I want to say. Not thin down, but smoother. Okay, this guy's mouth is going to be black. These eyes are going to be, I'm going to put the little eyeball in white for now, but I am going to use black around the edge to get that triangle shape. I'm going to have them looking over to the side. Again, looking up, looking to the side. Mix them up, mix them all up. I want to, let's see the crochet blanket. Hi, Terry. Oh, that's a cute idea. What sort of book do you give with that? That's a great idea. I never thought of that. I've made the little kids blankets and I've made the grown-up blanket, like the bigger ones. But I love that idea. And so just any kind of a little book for them to read together with their blankets, or do you have a special one that you include? Okay, so I'm going to just fill in some of the colors. It's base coating in the colors and then the details after. And I know I'm going to have, this mouth is going to be black. And in this one I put in these little crazy little teeth, which are fun. And I outline it in red. And that gives it that little vintage look. And you'll see what I mean. You might know what I'm talking about, those vintagey pumpkins. You see those paper mache pumpkins from back in the maybe mid-century. I kind of like that look. You can paint them as, just regular, ordinary pumpkins. You can find pumpkin carving pictures and things and paint what you like. These vintagey ones are kind of fun, though. And then we need a little black in between the teeth on this guy. And so I'm going to just kind of go around the teeth. You know these little pumpkin mouths that we've done. And you'll see my little chalk lines showing. I'll just afterwards erase those. You can just take a little damp paintbrush, or just when the paint's dry, and just smooth those out. And I do try to kind of take a look. Oh, Iris and Donna, hello. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, so this guy's almost done his little mouth. There, you know those little crazy little mouths for the pumpkins. That will all get outlined in red afterwards. Make them a little deeper, those teeth. And the noses I do some black, I do some green, I do some red. We'll do one of each. Let's do the black nose here. Black is great, it covers in one coat. Red might cover in one coat too. We'll see. And we'll do a red nose, and then we'll outline that one in black. And if you just pop it in or you have to leave early, no worries. This is always recorded. You'll find it on Craft Around the Clock and my page. I do try to download them as well to YouTube. So if you're ever over on YouTube, I do have a lot of full-length classes there that you could take a look at. Lime green. I thought I got you out, but apparently I did not. So a little lime green. And again, if you don't want all the colors, you can mix them up. You could just take your darker green, like a phthalo green with a little yellow. You get a really nice lime green. Sometimes it's nice if it's a color you use a lot just to have it in the bottle. And sometimes if you're painting like this on, the orange is a little dark and the green's covering okay, but you might sometimes want to just do a white underpainting if you're painting something yellow or transparent color. Base that little nose in white a few coats. Then when you go on with the green, there you are. You have a nice bright green. But that's covering okay. That's not bad. And I think I want to do some green eyes on someone. But let me base coat one more coat on that white that's there. And these teeth. Because white especially, you will need a few coats. And it will also make it a little brighter when I do my iris or the eye. Anyone else paint on these little wood slices at all? Have you done that? They're fun to, they're just very versatile. They're great for like little woodland creatures. I painted little bats and raccoons and different woodland creatures on them. Owls would be cute. As a little hanger, it doesn't have to be a Christmas decor only. It could be any time. But if you wanted to make a Christmas, then you just add a little holly or candy cane. My little bat has a candy cane in its hand. So you can make it a little bit more Christmassy if you want to, or you could just have it for every day. And the tongue. Okay, good. Mary Ann. Yeah, Sandy, you've painted a lot of things. You've done all kinds of things. I love seeing your paintings. All right, now this little mouth is dry. So I know I'm working on 3, and I'm just going to jump around to what's dry. I could give it a little squirt, but I do want to, I need a little black around the rim of this. This is that little triangle-shaped eye. So I want a little bit of that triangle still showing. And he's going to be looking over that way. I think I'll give it a little spray with the Heat gun because it will just speed it up since we are, only have so much time here. Let me just quickly dry it. So if you have a hairdryer or a heat gun like that, you can speed up the drying time of your acrylic paint. Oh, sometimes that's fun. I know I had one here I was going to pull, but I thought it's just not a pumpkin shape, So I do kind of look at the shape sometimes, and that's kind of fun. It might give you an idea that you wouldn't have thought of using. So that is cool, too. And you know what? I'm going to hit a little black in my brush when I did this. So I want to get it a little brighter, so I'm just going to add a little white back on there. Okay. Little eyebrows will do. So let's just get their eyes done. And they really get some personality then. So I'm going to even do blue, green, and then I have some that are a gold color for eyes, which are a little cool too, but more of a gold than a bright yellow to start. And I can another bottle of that paint. Let's see, there it is. After being in Maine all summer and then arriving back in Florida, I have to kind of remember what paint do I have here, what brushes, what am I working with? So it's kind of I did go to Michael's the other day and pick up some of the things I'm out and missing, but okay. I am going to do gold eye on this guy. Let's make him look, this guy's looking to the right. Let's do this guy looking up just for fun. So the pupil of the eye is the iris is the color. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do the iris, and then when that's dry, we'll put the little black pupil in. I'm going to keep hitting this with the heat gun, I think, just to get them kind of dried up. And this one we will do, let's do this one blue because he has a green nose, so we want to mix it up. So I do, of course, need some blue dye. Blue dye. All right, we are going to use, again, I'm going to go a little darker with the colors and then just a little swipe of a highlight with a lighter shade. So I'm going to use a little darker blue for this one, and then I'll just give a little lighter blue highlight. Even though it's small, sometimes even the little details, I will still give myself a dark and a light, and it just gives that little extra touch of making it just a little more special than just kind of quickly painted. This one really needs a good shake because the paint's been sitting here. Let's see now. That might cover a little better. It just seemed very, the paint was just sort of separating. There we go. That's better. All right, I need a little more black to outline that, but I need those pupils a little bigger. Let's see if I can get a little more paint out. There we go. I know it's very dark, like I said, but we'll just give it a little highlight. And I need to outline you a little bit with the black here. Just to come up here, get that square, get that little point on the... And I will reshape that a bit. I'm kind of going by an image here of the ones I've already painted just to get some ideas there. Okay. And green. So I'm going to do a green eyes too. So we've got them looking up, looking over. This guy will be just maybe looking straight on green. A little darker to start, like I said. And we'll go looking this way. Oh, Ellen, I'm in Lakeland. So where are you in South Florida? Are you anywhere in the path of, we don't know the path of the hurricane, but are you okay where you are? We don't really know where it's going, but anyhow. Let's do the mouth, so we'll wait for eyes to dry. Just a little touch up here. The white of the eye got a little bit out of shape. We want it to look round, so let's just give that a little bit of a reshape. In the mouth. So this little guy is going to just be black in the middle. I'm going to outline in red. I'm going to get a little bit, it's a liner brush, but it's a little shorter liner brush. So just to kind of outline. Oh, Susan, how are you in Western North Carolina? How are things where you are? I know I was out there painting. I was in the Smoky Mountains. I was out in the Asheville area painting in May. And it's all my, I do a lot of plein air painting, which is painting out. And that's where our convention was this year. So there was about 1,000, 1,200 of us out there painting. And it's kind of sad, all of the places that we painted. We painted at the Biltmore. We painted at Darnell Farms. Some of those places are hard hit in the landscape, as even Darnell Farm was completely wiped out. It's very sad to see what's going on. And I have friends down there, and it's so hard hit. So I'm just outlining with the red. Can you visualize now that I'm going to get a little brighter red. these vintagey paper mache pumpkins that we used to see. They were like little trick-or-treat buckets and just decor and things. So it is, I like the look of it, that mid-century look. And again, my little chalk lines are showing, so those we will wipe away when the paint is dry, though. But I always can't wait to do it. I can't wait to see it without the lines all willy-nilly there. Just a nice outline along that is all we need for this one. I'm going to just brighten up that nose a little bit. So some of them, if it's like just a black nose, I'll just kind of outline it with red. And again, I just have some inspiration of some old vintage pumpkins for this. This mouth is going to just be divided like its teeth, and then I'm going to outline the mouth in red too. For this finer work, you will find me, oh gosh, it's 10 o'clock, you guys. This hasn't happened before. I've been gabbing too much. I'm going to have to pop off and finish them, and I will bring them back. I really don't, where did that 10 minutes go? So I'm sorry, you guys. Usually I'm always finished, but I'm going to pop off. Stay tuned for the next crafter. I'm going to sit here and paint, and let me show you a picture real quick, like of what they're going to look like. They're going to be like this little look. So I'm going to do them right now, and I will see you next week. Thank you guys for popping in. I am so sorry. I just kind of needed to speed up. Okay. Yeah, it is Asheville. It is sad what happened down there too, but we're going to finish off next time. Bye.